new business, payment of bills, there are questions?
There was one bill that the board was notified today of. So usually how this works is a construction manager submits a pencil copy of the bill of all the subcontractors' work. The architect confirms that percentage of work has been completed, signs off on it, then the district puts it on its bills list. Because the bills were submitted at the end of June, and then there were some issues with the architect's office and the 4th of July holiday. We didn't receive final approval till today. The construction manager had a concern of then holding basically our subcontractors going almost 60 days with no pay. And so that's why the bill was added this morning.
But, I go with your recommendation on it, but that agreement is really clear of when they have to get them in, and we have 30 days to review them, and we also, the payment terms are based on the, what's the name of the payment act that we have? Those people go on Prompt Payment Act, which we have another 30 days to pay, and my really concern is we keep getting these things added at the last minute to the board to have to review and think about, and in that instance, we have no duty to pay them today. And again, if you want to pay them, I don't have a problem doing it, but I have a problem that, Scott was talking about jumping through hoops for the board to get a report together. Well, if you're going to jump through hoops, I think you should do it for the board so we can look new the budget, but I don't know why we're jumping through hoops to pay people that we don't even have a duty to pay today. That's what my concern is on that, whether,
But we only have one board meeting in July, so by the board approving this bill, we can sit on the check for 30 days. We can
Right.
sit on the check for 20 days.
Right.
But I won't see you then until August 8th if I wait till then for you to approve it.
Right.
So by having you approve this bill gives us the authority to sit on the check until we get, have more time to review or if there's an issue. So that's what we've been doing the last 2 times because of our board meeting schedules lining up with when they submit the work.
But I can guarantee you, I didn't pull it out, we have a lot more than 2 weeks to have the
Absolutely.
board approve a payment for that, under that construction agreement.
You're right.
So again, I'm just making a suggestion, and I've asked Gary this before, I think we should avoid, to the extent we can, amending the board package after Friday. Because we all have jobs, and then we get emails, and then if you have time, I was traveling today, I can't read everything on Tuesday afternoon. So if we don't have a duty to pay them, let's just tell them they have to wait till the next time. But what are they gonna, they can't walk away, we're not breaching the agreement, we don't even have a duty to pay them right now. So, it's just as an example, but I personally would ask Gary to talk to you to say, let's try to not be rushing things through on Tuesdays when we don't have a need to do that, is really what my point is. I just personally think we should avoid that last flag. But
Keep going.
Kevin wants to have it approved. There's not a reason we can't approve it. We owe him the money. It's just a question of whether we had to push it on the agenda today.
In general, I usually hold the check till I get the official signed off
Right.
copy from DLA.
Right.
So even though
So it's
the
not like they're
check's
getting a
cut,
check tomorrow.
They're not getting it tomorrow.
But you see, you're looking at something completely different to me. At some point, I don't care what your process is. But I do care that we keep rushing things in the board package and have them come after. Once a month, we have a board meeting. We should try to get everything in the package on Friday so the board only has to look at it once. And not on Monday we get an update, and on Tuesday we get an update, and people have to decide whether they have time at lunch or take away from their work to review it or just ignore it, which I hope you don't want us to do. So it's more the board process I have a concern with. I'm sure you're paying them properly and all that kind of stuff, but why add something to ask the board to take a look at another $700,000 payment if it didn't have to be done for this board meeting? That's what my concern is. You see what I'm saying, Kevin?
I understand your concern. I will say that the ebbs and flow of the school district and the board packet going out, it doesn't work like that all the time. It's just not real, especially in the summer. We have all these people that have vacation days, use them or lose them. So, I can't tell Mary Ann, hey, you gotta stay here till Friday because we didn't get the contract back on vending.
I understand.
So the packet goes out on Thursday. If the contract comes in on Friday and we need to approve it because we need a vending machine by August, I'm gonna have to drop it in there first thing Monday. Sometimes that's gonna happen.
Right.
I get today, this is an example of we could go back to the construction manager and say, hey, we're holding the check. or you know what, the board doesn't approve it till August, they feel they're within their 30 days. So, I mean, this is probably a bad example of what
Yeah.
I'm trying to show.
It's a good example for me.
Right.
Okay, I agree. But anyway, so we had some, do we have other questions on the bills, Gary?
There was
Yeah,
one,
there
su-
was-
one submitted about the 4,500, we pay that money up front to the state police, and then it's kind of like, they withdraw every time we
Okay,
submit
that's
a
bill
back.
count?
Every time we submit a
done that all
background check,
along?
yes.
Oh, okay.
And then when it runs short, we re-up it.
We were down to $2.50 with the state.
Oh, my God.
So we re-upped it to what was spent in the past. See, my pages are all messed up with the questions. There was a question submitted on a Rego. The communication card burned out, had to be replaced and actually rewired. The spliced wires were trying to get around the actual burned out card to keep it functioning until the card came in. So that was a Rego on board book page 152. That was the $5,208 invoice.
So we spliced the communication cables?
We tried to do it in the
They-
hopes of keeping it running.
Keeping it
until the
functioning
piece came.
until the card came in, until the communication card came in. So everything was replaced, rewired, it's working, functioning.
It's expensive cutting of cables, isn't it?
But that was the.
And they were
burned out
running?
card to try to bypass it.
So did we bypass it and we were running?
We were running, but eventually we had to fix it.
No, I'm just saying, by cutting the
Worked.
cables, we
It worked.
bypassed.
Let's see here, let me just make sure I got these right.
There was one on legal services on 154, why forensic was broken in 3 groups.
3 different groups. It's broken down into what,
It was more like,
services.
it was really, why we spend $32,000 on forensic, it seemed like that was a lot.
That was
for a
the
short-
May and June invoice.
Okay.
The majority, a lot of it was on special education cases, due process.
Okay.
Conica Minolta, in order to get out of finalize the lease, we had to make the last 2 payments for the copiers to get out of the 5-year deal.
We
And
paid
then-
to get out of the 5-year deal?
Well, that was the expiration of the 5-year contract. We had 2 invoices left.
Oh.
And then we get a
So it
free
looked
month
like
from our new vendor.
New vendor, we get a free month, so July is free.
Okay.
Our first payment for our new vendor will start in August. So that's why it looks like it ran over. Trying to think. What else do we got here? Police,
I also had
Lenovo, that was on page 156.
Right.
We're replacing Computer Lab 258. This was part of the presentation for obsolete computers.
What's
To do it.
Computer Lab 258?
It's an AutoCAD lab and a general lab.
It's a classroom.
So in order to run the new software for the AutoCAD, you gotta update it so it
Okay.
can support the newest Creative Suite.
Thank you.
Okay. I think that's it for bills. Oh, retirement incentive options, there are several of those out there. These are benefits from prior collective bargaining agreements that retirees receive up until
Every year.
they reach 65, and I believe.
10 years or
10 years or
Medicare
Medicare.
kicks in.
It's a one-time payment?
No.
No, it's
Each year.
annual.
Each year. No, but I mean, yeah, once a year they
Yes.
get that
Yeah.
amount.
Right.
And Scott, you're making sure they submit proof every year that
Yes,
they
there's
have
proof every year that they have to show.
submit, right?
Mhm. And I think the rest of the stuff was on checklistings. There were some questions on, for example, summer camps. Basically, our revenue on summer camps, we run it through to try to be cost neutral. We need to have a placeholder on it so that we can track on it. It may look like it's over budget, but it's really running cost neutral. We just need to be able to account for it. So you will see some on the revenue side, some on the expenditure side, but at the end, when we take all that, it's all cost neutral to the district.
They do a report on that after the summer to show that it was cost neutral for us too.
There was another question on age group gymnastics. Just so everyone knows, it was budgeted on the expenditure side for roughly $90,000. We did run over on that, paying anybody that is helping out with it. But on the revenue side, it actually generates $60,000 to $70,000 for the district with the fees that they pay. So it is offsetting and actually profiting for the district. Principal supply account. Basically, why that ran over was just the cost of run graduation between all the diploma covers, the chair rental, the increase in the tassels and the cords. There was a lot more this year compared to last year. Then there was also some invoices that ran from the 15-16 year that didn't make it into the prior year, which got it paid in this year. So there was an overage in that account.
Don't you think the principal should have to cover that herself?
Absolutely. No. But she was under budget in the other accounts.
Okay, can we have a vote?
Did we already have the resolution? We've got a
We did.
No, did we? All right, so we go for the vote?
Did we read the
Or
resolution?
did we read the resolution? No, we haven't. That's what I
Resolved that
thought,
the
so
Board of
we can get a
Education
resolution.
Township High School District 2A, Cook County, Illinois hereby approves the payment of bills as presented and listed in the July 11, 2017 Board Agenda Packet.
Second.
Ms. Towner?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Newell?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Dearborn?
Yes.